Hello, everyone. I just wanted to touch base real quick about Sebastian Rogers. Now, please remember that Sebastian Rogers' family is not considered, they have not been charged with anything, and, they are listed as suspects, but as of right now, law enforcement, has not arrested the parents or anything like that. So the stepdad, the father, and the mother, they are all given the presumption of innocence always on my channel, regardless of what I say, what the astrology says. We always have to provide a presumption of innocence to anyone mentioned on my channel, whether they're a suspect or not. Okay, please remember that this is just astrology. You don't have to take it as fact. It's just reading the planets about a missing child on his natal chart. This is Sebastian Rogers' natal chart. Okay, this might sound like I'm coming across like I'm picking on Chris Proudfoot or the person that is supposed to be a father figure in Sebastian's life. Okay, I'm just going to point out to you, I'm really going to hyper focus on his Saturn. Saturn is a very important planet on your natal chart. Even if you don't look at someone's whole natal chart and you just look at Saturn, it can tell a lot about a person. It can tell a lot about your childhood. It can tell a lot about your environment. It can tell you about how you handle stress emotionally, mentally. It also can tell us about our health. Why? Because Saturn does rule the body. And Sebastian Rogers' Saturn is in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So, we are aware that Sebastian Rogers has a chromosomal disorder. We are aware that Sebastian Rogers was diagnosed with autism. Now, his chromosomal disorder, that has a lot to do with Mercury, because Mercury rules the mind. It also rules your health and how you can care for others. So the fact that he has Virgo showing up in the 10th house with Saturn there, to me, how I would interpret this, and plus he has a huge square and a huge T-square going down to the sun, going down to Mercury, his mind, ruling, and the sun is affecting him in the first house, and then you have Mercury affecting him in the first house, which really, it would really affect himself, his physical body as well. And it's with a huge T-square there, and so this would tell me that he definitely had issues with, being very critical of himself. He may have overanalyzed everything due to feeling insecure because of a father figure in his life. I'm not accusing Chris. I'm not accusing Seth. But this is usually someone who would come across more strict. This can be someone who, that his self-esteem may have suffered. He could have difficulties really in his early childhood with self-esteem coming from an authority figure to him. This would be someone that comes across as an authority figure. Why? Because the 10th house does kind of rule the parental authority, okay? Specifically, possibly a parent, a father figure, one that would be overcritical, that could really affect Sebastian's self-esteem. Now, again, I'm not accusing any of the parents of doing anything to Sebastian. I'm just pointing this out. I mean, you can get any astrology book and look up what does it mean when the sun squares Saturn, and it can talk to you about a lot of self-esteem issues, and someone in authority being too overcritical of you, too controlling of you, that could really affect someone's mental health and the way that they think, because Mercury rules your mind, okay? And so I have a square going to Mercury from Saturn. So again, that's affecting his first house in his self. And then you have, he might feel, I would say Saturn is like our responsibility planet. So he may have felt that he had to do very well in school. Mercury can rule your younger years in school as well, and Mercury is ruling that 10th house. So, I mean, he would have want to have accomplished things in school. He would want to appear smart in school, and I think that he is very smart on his astrology. He's a smart, bright kid, but just he has struggles. Well, one, because he has the chromosomal deletion disorder, and he is autistic. So, he may have had some issues with development early on in life as well, and just issues with wanting to not be a burden, wanting to not make his family worry about him as well. He might, with this, he could be overcritical of himself, or someone is being overcritical of him, and that he probably wasn't comfortable talking about any mistakes that he made, because that Virgo element is super hypercritical, okay? Watching every little mistake that somebody makes and then be an authority figure about it, almost kind of like a bully in a way. He would have struggled fitting in with peers, in social situations as well with this. He could want to achieve really high grades and put a high expectation on himself, but then feel that he can't maintain that in a way. And that can lead to more feelings of insecurity, just really feeling down on himself. And then you would have that overcritical parent in his childhood that would be hypercritical of him as well in the 10th house. That rules an authority figure, and it usually does rule a father figure. Again, I don't want to accuse Chris of doing anything to Sebastian. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you can look this stuff up yourselves, guys. It's there. I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. It's documented. These are what these aspects mean, and this is what's showing up on his chart. So I do feel that with Saturn there, with Mercury, definitely issues with the mind. Saturn tells us a lot about our physical body, our hair, skin, nails, teeth, what's happening to our body. So with Mercury ruling that area there, that's telling us that, obviously he had struggles with autism and the chromosomal deletion disorder that really affected his self-esteem, and that there is someone in his life, an authority figure, that would be overcritical of every little thing Sebastian did. That's just my own astrological opinion. That's how I feel about it. Again, not saying that Chris is guilty of anything. I'm not even accusing Seth or Katie. I'm just telling you some of the struggles that Sebastian may have had with Saturn being in the 10th house, being there with Virgo. Now, it can also show that he had drive to want to be successful, wanting to be witty and smart, and that he could use his hands very well. He probably is an excellent gamer. I don't want to say was, because we always want to keep hope alive that Sebastian is still with us. But, this is someone that can use their hands. He could have played an instrument and been successful with it, because Mercury does rule the hands and the mind, right? So a stimulation of hands and minds in his mind. A lot of people that are ruled by Mercury, are good with their hands. So, definitely a good gamer, I would say, with Mercury ruling this area as well. He would be competitive in school. He would be competitive in gaming. He'd be competitive growing up and being in the workforce as well. If he found something that he was very good at, I do think Sebastian could be very successful. Plus, in the second house, he has some successful areas down in the second house as well that shows that, he would want to be successful in whatever he does. But, there's just this level of insecurity, and that there's someone in his life as an authority that would be extremely overcritical of every little thing that he does. And that could really affect his self-esteem. And, he wouldn't want to let anyone down, kind of a thing. And if he's always being picked on, or someone being hypercritical over him, that could make him more withdrawn from society, and he could really become depressed with his mind as well. Because, Mercury rules the mind and Saturn rules the body, so he could definitely suffer from, a little bit of depression here as well. Definitely. So don't think that he had a lot of support from possibly a father figure in his life. I'm not saying that it's Seth, and I'm not saying that it's Chris, but, Saturn does rule a father figure. And this would be a father figure that is extremely controlling. Okay? All right, so I just wanted to kind of point that out. Again, not accusing anyone. I'm just telling you what I see. All right. This would definitely affect his self-esteem, guys. I really think. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. It's very sad. Keep praying for Sebastian Rogers that we will know his truth soon. Take care of one another. Blessings to you all. Blessed be. Bye-bye now.